It's James Banks here for DefinitiveeSports, and I'm here with a man that needs no introduction in the UK scene. It's Ziktomini from Western Wolves. Now, this event, it's quite tough with the competition here, so I'm going to go straight in with a kind of tough question. Do you feel that it's kind of detrimental to the UK scene in terms of progressing for players, having all these big names here? Because we don't really get to see too many high-up matches or much experience given for you guys, especially if you run up against these Koreans or the top level other European players.
I think it's a bit of both, because it's kind of a risk to reward thing. Like, it's going to be harder for you to win and get exposure, but because of the extra competition, there's a lot more viewers, a lot more attention paid to the tournament. So if you do well, you're going to get a whole lot more exposure than back in the day when it was more kind of only UK players, a lot easier money, but there's not that much attention paid to the tournament. At least, I don't know, I wasn't here back in like I-42 or something, but I-46 there was only one player coming from Europe, no one from Korea, so there wasn't that much attention on the tournament, but it was easier to get money.
Yeah. And with looking at the Europeans, if we take the Europeans and the Koreans away and we just leave the UK playing field, who would you say are like the top runners at the moment for HOTS and the new wave? I don't think there's any players who were sort of bad in Wings of Liberty but have now become really good in HOTS, or vice versa. I think it would just be the same, like me or Johnny, Rico, Bling, etc. All the other players who made it to the groups basically in this event. Now, you ended Wings of Liberty on such a high, and the last I series kind of wasn't the best performance for you overall, wasn't probably what you were expecting. What have you been doing since then in your training schedule and your practice schedule to get ready for this, and obviously with HOTS not being out too long, making it a little bit more difficult as well?
Yeah, well, after that event, I didn't really have any more Wings of Liberty things, so I stopped playing for a long time. Mostly played like Dota 2 and just other things. But with HOTS coming out, I've been playing StarCraft a little bit now. So I haven't been doing any kind of rigorous schedule or anything recently. Just playing some games on ladder, some customs with some friends, that kind of thing.
So you seem to be taking a bit more of a casual approach to it. For this year, what are your kind of plans and goals going forward?
I don't know. I'm going to see how it goes at the start. Like, I'm kind of half in, half out at the moment. If I start really enjoying the game again, I'll start playing more and try and do more. But at the moment, I'm just kind of, if it goes well, then that's good. But I'm not fully committed into it. So if I don't do well, I'm not like that bothered.
So what specifically would make you enjoy the game a bit more, and what are you not enjoying at the moment?
I don't know, it was just towards the end of Wings of Liberty, it was kind of boring. The metagame was the same, like just playing Zerg was so boring towards the end. And I guess it has been shaken up a bit in House of the Swarm, which makes it more interesting, but I don't know, I feel like the game isn't that interesting still. It's kind of, there's more build orders and some new units, but I don't really like the functionality of any of the units, to be honest. Like, playing versus Protoss is pretty boring because they just try and turtle and you have to try and kill them before they make enough. And it's like it comes a moment where you either kill them or you don't, and that's the end of the game. Terran ZVT is a bit more interesting with the Widow Mine and stuff. Like, if you micro well, like Life did, if I ever figure that out, maybe maybe I'll enjoy it a bit more, but right now it feels like kind of you either win or just lose your whole army in a second to Widow Mines if you make a mistake. And CVC is just Musa versus Musa, pretty boring. But
yeah, I keep watching that.
Yeah, Hearts of the Storm CVC is pretty bad.
So you were saying about like the other European players here at the moment. Now, who would you say you're most worried against? Because you've got kind of a tough group really overall. Out of that group, would you feel fairly confident, or are you just kind of going into it with just I'm going to do the best I can attitude?
Yeah, I think I'll do that, because I was looking back at all of the tournaments I've been to, and the ones I've done well at were like the early ones, DreamHack Summer and WCS UK, most obviously, and those were both ones I was like, yeah, I'll just do the best I can, I've got nothing to lose. And then it was after that, once I started thinking like, oh, I've got something to lose now, I had higher expectations, that kind of thing. That was when all my results were pretty bad in the tournaments. So I'm just going into this one thinking I'll just try and do the best I can. Like, not too high expectations. Like, I think that was what was my detriment in the previous tournaments.
So do you feel like there was a lot of pressure on you after your big wins earlier on?
Yeah, but I think the pressure was mostly just put on by myself. Maybe in other areas too, like, I don't know, can't think of anything specific, but yeah, there was like generally a bit more pressure. I was expecting to do better because of my other performances, my previous results, but then I feel like, yeah, that was my downfall in certain ways.
Now, ideal situation for you, obviously, is that you would win the whole tournament, but what would you say your predictions are for like top 3 of this event?
I think 4GG is probably the favourite, because he was ridiculous in Wings of Liberty, and now Heart of the Swarm, Terran's a lot better in Heart of the Swarm than Wings of Liberty. So I think he's by far the favourite, but I'm not sure beyond that. I think it's up for grabs. Like, obviously Stig and Crank being Koreans and Koreans being favourites, probably put them around the top 3 as well. But then, I don't know, Rhett's been doing pretty well recent events. His play was quite impressive when I saw it. And there's quite a few players who I think could do well.
So, going away from this, any final words, any final things you want to say? And hopefully this won't be your last event in terms of everything else, because I do enjoy talking to you. We get to have many interviews at all these events.
Just shout out to Western Boards and our sponsors, Mad Cats, Triton, AMD. I've forgotten them. It's been so long since, yeah, Sapphire. It's been so long. Yep.
Cool. No problem. Just thank all his sponsors. You can see it on the Western Boards websites. Yeah, it gets too much to remember sometimes, doesn't it? It's been James Banks for DefinitiveeSports here. I was here with Ziktomini. Good luck in the rest of the tournament. I'm sure we'll catch up with you soon, because we always end up with a couple, so I'm holding my fingers crossed for you. And check out the rest of our coverage on d-esports.com. We're going a load more interviews, some live footage, and we're doing the hosting on the ESET stand, so go check it all out.